Hey ladies and gents, welcome back. This is going to be a new What If. This is going to be part 1 to What If Naruto was the 10 Tails Jinchuuriki. Now, I have done this before, so this is kind of like a remastered one, but I did it like so stupidly long ago that nobody remembers it anyway, so there's really no point in even like mentioning it. So, with that being said, there's no like or anything like that. Make sure to leave a comment down below for any future What If ideas you have, and with that being said, let's just jump right into the What If itself. So, to kick this What If off, how exactly is Naruto going to get all 9-tailed beasts, and how is it going to, like, even happen, pretty much, like that? Well, it's actually pretty simple. There's many things that you could change in Naruto to, like, completely change literally everything, and what I'm gonna do for this specific What If is just make it so that when Hashirama got all of the tailed beasts, instead of being like, hey, I'm gonna give them all away, except for the 9 tails, I'll keep that for myself, he decides to actually keep them all. And this makes it so that all of the other villages, when, like, the wars would happen, like, first, second, third Great Shinobi World Wars happened, because, the fourth hasn't actually happened yet, that would mean that those wars, instead of happening, like, for, like, different reasons, they just happen because, the villages are trying to get their hands on tailed beasts, but they can't, because the Leaf Village just absolutely shreks them every time, so yeah. So, with all of the, different tailed beasts being in the village all at once at this point, it just so happens that the day of the 9 Tails attack arrives and Naruto is born. As Kushina is, the, like, host, I guess you could say, of the 9 Tails, and that would make the seal weaken, so Obito could release the 9 Tails outside of, like, the actual, Jinchuuriki, or, person, I guess you can say. So the 9 Tails attack would actually just, start off or happen pretty normally at the beginning. Minato goes and he's fighting with Obito while Kushina has, like, the 9 Tails extracted from her, and all of that stuff happens normally and the 9 Tails will be attacking the village here. However, when Obito, like, ends up actually, like, losing the 9 Tails, or, like, the contract goes away, when he goes and, like, retreats, like, when he gets hit by the Rasengan, he actually does something else, just to fuck with Minato a little bit, because he blames him for, Rin dying and everything like that. So he decides he'll leave a little bit of a troll here, and he decides to release all of the other tailed beasts throughout the village, and just to see what Minato would do with that. So he goes to all of the different Jinchuuriki and actually just uses his Rinnegan, which he, actually has at this point. He hasn't given it to Nagato, or he took it from Nagato and everything like that. So he uses the Rinnegan and just kind of, like, takes out all of the tailed beasts. And they're not under his control or anything like that at this point, but he just releases them, just to see what Minato is going to be able to do about it. So this means that all 9-tailed beasts are released in the village, with none of them really being controlled by Obito, but Minato has to figure out what he's actually going to, actually do here. So, with all 9-tailed beasts being, like, released here, this means that Minato is going to have a little bit bigger of a challenge than before, and he's going to have to work faster in order for them to not destroy the village or anything like that. Making many shadow clones using a technique similar to Hiruzen, he uses the shadow clones in order to seal all of the different tailed beasts away, and actually decides to seal each and every, individual tailed beast inside of Naruto, all separately. Like, the 10 Tails isn't gonna immediately be formed. The 10 Tails chakra is slowly gonna be, like, formed over years as, like, the seal slowly weakens and the chakras from all the different tailed beasts, like, merge together and pretty much, like, form 2 different versions of, like, chakra. Like, there's the normal tailed beast chakra, and then there's, like, the leaked chakra that would make a completely, like, different pool of chakra for Naruto to use, which would be, like, the more of the 10 Tails Jinchuuriki version of it. So this means that the very beginning of Naruto's life wouldn't actually be all that different, because none of the seals have really, like, weakened and nothing like that has happened. Naruto looks normal, and everybody just still sees him as a demon. It's not, like, more so or less than, like, the original. Everything's just kind of, like, there. If anything, it would be a little bit more, because of the fact that, Naruto was the Jinchuuriki of all of the tailed beasts. That means like all of the hatred towards all of them would be towards Naruto. But at the same time, there's less hatred from like the past towards the tailed beasts because they all have been working for the Leaf Village since Hashirama, so nobody really like hates them that much up until that point. So the hatred towards Naruto is at a similar level to what it was in the original, and slowly as years would go by, Naruto's around the age of like 6 or 6 or 7, people start noticing something. These small horns are actually growing out of Naruto's head at this point, and his skin, like by the day, just seems to be getting more and more pale, whilst Naruto's physical body seems to get stronger and stronger, and nobody really knows why this is. This is obviously because this is like the seal's weakening and the Ten Tails chakra coming out. And as more and more happens, the seals get weaker and weaker and weaker, allowing for more chakra to be able to pass through, allowing for more, Ten Tails chakra to be created, allowing for the seals to get weaker, and this pretty much just like, this process would repeat itself. And that's going to be like the big challenge for Naruto in like this first part is, not killing everybody by letting the Ten Tails out because of just how much, think about how much chakra that is inside of a fucking 6-year-old kind of a thing. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of chakra, So one day when Naruto was around the age of 8 or so, he would be wandering through the village. He was about to get enrolled into the, academy and everything like that. But Naruto has been noticing that lately his skin just seems to be getting paler and paler. His horns have been getting longer, and he realizes that something is happening to him and he needs to figure out what it is. He goes to the Hokage office and begins talking to Hiruzen about the physical changes that have been happening to Naruto's body for the last couple of years. Now, with Naruto going there, Hiruzen can't really, say nothing. Obviously speaking. Naruto knows something is happening, and he just, wonders if he should tell Naruto the truth, or if he should just tell him he's some kind of, alien or something. But since Naruto is kind of old and he's about to go into the academy, he decides that he needs to tell Naruto this now, because otherwise he's just gonna find out from the village, and Naruto wouldn't be, he wouldn't have that, time to prepare, and the fact that it's somebody, good, and telling him with good intentions, rather than telling him with, you're the Ten Tails Jinchuuriki, you damn fucking demon, kind of thing. So, Naruto would hear from Hiruzen that he is the, Jinchuuriki of every single tailed beast. But as for the physical changes that are happening to, Naruto's body, Hiruzen has absolutely no idea. He then would continue to pretty much, summon a member of the Hyuga clan to look at Naruto with their Byakugan, and this is where, for the first time, it is revealed that Naruto actually has 9 pretty much, or 10 different chambers of, chakra, basically, seals that are on his body, and each of them are pretty much slowly leaking and forming a pool that is in another, and this other one is completely unsealed, and it is, the reason why Naruto is going through these physical changes, just because there's this weird pool of chakra that actually, even at this point when Naruto is only 8, seems to be bigger than all of the others, including the one for the Nine Tails, meaning that it has a stupid pool of chakra because of just how much is, inside of it and how much has been leaked over the years. So Naruto realizes this, and with Hiruzen actually being there to, witness this and, hear everything that is happening right now, he realizes that something bad might be happening, because whatever is being created or formed inside of Naruto doesn't have anything on it to actually seal it or anything like that, just because it is the chakra that was leaked out from the other seals. Therefore it doesn't have any seal on it itself, because it's just a leak pretty much. So Hiruzen would pretty much realize this, and he has been realizing that Naruto actually has been going through a lot of physical changes by this point in time, and decides to do some tests with Naruto. they find out that nothing like ninjutsu or anything like that actually even works on Naruto. He seems to have these weird balls that he can actually like make that have like literally no way of breaking and can destroy anything that they touch, along with the fact that Naruto has been able to awaken the Rinnegan as years went by and everything like that. So with this actually happening, eventually it would reach the point where the Ten Tails is more overwhelming to Naruto than anything else in his life. The Ten Tails has gotten so much chakra leaked out from it that it is now able to genuinely influence Naruto in pretty much any way it wants to, and Naruto is going to have to deal with the pretty much mental instability that the Ten Tails actually causes. Now, this means that Naruto would basically be ripping himself apart, kind of like Obito was. And unless he finds a way to piece himself back together, he can't get control of the Ten Tails, and Naruto is just going to let it free to completely destroy the entire village, and everybody is going to be completely fucked by it. So, Naruto one night would be sleeping, and he would enter his mindscape, where the Ten Tails beast would pretty much just be sitting in front of Naruto. All of the other tailed beasts would be around Naruto in different cages, all bowing down to the Ten Tails, which is in the middle, as, literally completely unsealed, like I've been saying this entire time, and the amount of chakra that it has is pretty insane too, because of how weak the seals are on each of the different tailed beasts, and the Ten Tails would begin pretty much talking to Naruto, trying to make it seem like a good idea to let the Ten Tails be able to take over, and it would slowly begin trying to persuade Naruto to open the seals on all of the other, tailed beasts in order to allow the Ten Tails to get to its full power. Now, Naruto would be listening to this, and remember, Naruto's 8 years old at this point. He's really young, and with the seals being weakened to this point, this means that it is pretty much going to be Naruto's introduction, I guess you could say, to Minato, because he still had that, I guess you could say, defense system against, something weird happening. And Minato is trying to assess the situation that is going on inside Naruto's mindscape, and realizes he only has one thing he can do in order to try to help Naruto and the village here, which is to put a seal on the actual Ten Tails, and then try to tighten up all of the seals on everything else. Minato uses, the actual... What is it? Why can't I remember the name of anything right now, man? He uses the Reaper Death Seal once again, creating many different links and different, things in chakra, making it so that chakra leaked from any of the different, tailed beasts would automatically go into a different cage that he already has the Ten Tails sealed inside of, which he used the actual, Reaper Death Seal to seal the Ten Tails in the first place, meaning that any future leaking chakra would be going directly to the Ten Tails instead of creating a completely different being altogether again. And this also means that with Naruto having a seal on the Ten Tails too, he would have a much better time trying to go about his life and not have to deal with that splitting, I guess you could say, in his head. But that's where I'm going to leave this part off, because that's pretty much just the background, I guess you could say, of what everything is going to be happening here. But anyway, you guys can stop back in whenever I upload part 2.